Man, oh man, just in from Florida. What's going on, everybody? I hope everything's working here. Bit scrambling, bambling to get to you to bring another Dapper Dividends quality live stream for this peculiar and special brand of investing talk that you so dearly love. And I actually love in providing it to all of you wonderful people. So, yes, I missed last week, but I'm back from Florida, and it was a good time. It was 10 days. We were away from the house, so had to do a lot of catching up today. Still got the newsletter out and what have you, but honestly, it's funny. One of the things I've brought back from my trip is a sunburn, a little bit nasty sunburn on my shoulders. And, it's a funny thing because, yes, I will tie this into investing. How's he going to tie a sunburn into investing? Well, like this. So we were swimming. We went to the beach. We had a beach day. And my oldest daughter, my eldest, my 16-year-old volleyball player, really wanted to find a shell. So there was 6 of us in the water, and we're just hanging out over in the Gulf of Mexico, right by St. Pete Beach, Florida. And we were looking for shells. She really wanted to find a shell. And wouldn't you know it, when we pulled in, right across the street was the Florida Shell Shop. But she didn't want to buy a shell. She wanted to find a shell. So I gave it my all. I had the goggles on. The water was a bit churned up, but couldn't find any very, very awesome shells. But the Florida Shell Shop had them, but she did not want to go to the Florida Shell Shop to find those shells to buy them. And the lesson I told her was, look, this is kind of reminiscent in life where you're going to spend either time looking for shells or learning something like dividend investing. You can do it yourself. You can look around on the internet. Everything is out there for free. You're either going to have the time and spend your life force trying to learn something and hopefully doing it right, or you can pay money to have somebody that has hopefully been there before and is doing a little bit further ahead from you, right? You don't have to be Warren Buffett here, but you can give them money and then they can just give it to you all in one shot, what you need to know. And that, ladies and gents, is how I tie in a sunburn from looking for freaking shells, which I enjoyed because it wasn't a waste of time by any stretch because I got to spend it with my family. And but I did give it a little bit longer. I wanted to find the kid a shell. So that's what we got going on here. So what's up, Kevin? What's up, Pat? Gorilla Nurse. I'm going to say hello to all you people out there. So if you are playing the game that we play around here, take a drink. We're going to get to the stock right now that I bought. And this was shared. So if you get the newsletter, then you will not be surprised in the least about what this stock is. And I'm going to go through this real quick. And then I think, Darth, if you're watching, I told you I've been scrambling. I've been gone for 10 days. I've had housework, unpacking, yard work, things to catch up on. And that is what we did. We got caught up. So I'm going to open up my newsletter for who? For you people. And we're going to quickly run through what I bought here. So yeah, if you got it, you already know. And I'm good. What do you think of that Chat GPT inspired logo I have, right? So if you get the newsletter, it'll make sense why there was a fish, right? Well, I guess I was in Florida. I was with fish. Hey, watch out for those manatees. We were close. My brother-in-law was like, hey kids, there's a dark shape in the water. And I'm like knocking over my kids and my nieces to get out of the water. Like, there's a dark shape, get out. No, it turned out to be a manatee that was maybe 10 feet from us, just cruising, minding its own business. I don't know if it was male or female. So here we go. I'm going to show you all out there that are tuning in what we got. So yes, it was indeed Nike. And the reason that I used a fish was because of the great Charlie Munger quote, which I need to fix myself to give you more real estate there. There we go. Okay, so this is what Charlie Munger in 2008, and you know, I've listened to them all twice, and I'm going through the annual letters now, but Charlie Munger said, "You're like a man standing by a stream trying to spear a fish, and the fish only comes once a week, once a month, or only once every 10 years. And you've got to be there to throw that spear fast before the fish swims on." And that's what I did with Nike, I hopefully. So fish with a swoosh. I don't, you try saying fish with a swoosh really fast 23 times. See if you can do it. And then we just talked about, which I can go over here, that Nike had their Q4 earnings announcement actually the day that we were at Busch Gardens in Tampa. And that morning, right, I actually noticed lots of people. Nike was well represented. So we'll just paraphrase this. Yeah, I picked up 14 shares with an average cost of $76.54. This is where I was writing the newsletter to you from. Don't worry, this isn't going to be any kind of, I don't know, storytelling, picture time, because that gets boring unless there's a point to it. Everybody, if you want to tell a more interesting story, it has to have intention and obstacle. Somebody that wants something and they're trying to get it. Doesn't have to be epic. They don't have to get it. But that's what makes it interesting, because otherwise it's just a list of events, and a list of events gets really boring really quickly. So anyway, the point being that I don't think Nike's going anywhere. We'll talk to Darth about this in 1 minute, good sir. But yeah, one of the big things here that I found is that current management, which John Donahoe came in 2017 or 2020, excuse me. 2017 was when they started doing the direct-to-consumer stuff, and they really ramped that up during COVID. I think they thought they found the golden goose because there's higher margins when Nike can cut out the wholesaler, right, like a Foot Locker or a Journeys, and just send and sell right to the consumer, which that was working awesome during COVID. But yeah, once the consumer sentiment shifted, people started wanting to go back to the brick and mortar physical retail stores, and it was a bad move for Nike. I think there's a class action lawsuit out there saying that John Donahoe and their CFO Matt Friend had misled investors. But either way, here you go. You can see this chart. This is from Statista, 2023 athletic wear sales. I mean, Nike just doubled up on their next closest competitor, which is Adidas. But, you know, hey, in certain categories, they're losing market share. And yeah, I actually thought this was interesting. If you don't know, Mark Parker was their former CEO. He was a Nike footwear designer since in 1979. And yeah, he was their third CEO from 2006 to 2020. And I think that just shows he had a fundamental understanding of the company, the industry. And then, yeah, they wanted to shake things up. And kind of like Intel, when Bob Swan was the former CFO, the chief financial officer, that he was replaced eventually by Pat Gelsinger. But, you know, the CFO doesn't always understand the business. They look at the numbers. So I think that could be something similar with John Donahoe, who is the fourth CEO, and he really had minimal experience in the footwear industry, and he was on the board of directors, right, since I think 2014. But he actually was a CEO and led businesses like PayPal and eBay. So anyway, it kind of reminded me of, you know, when Intel wanted their turnaround, they brought in somebody that was the former chief technical officer, Pat Gelsinger, the dude that was in the trenches, you know, designing the chips with the nuts and bolts of what makes the company go. So anyway, I just think it's going to be okay. And I shared a few other thoughts. I called them a horse. Nike's horse is globally iconic. And I think that the jockey, you know, is he incompetent? Hey, the jury's out. But and I shared a couple Simply Safe, you know, their card and their dividend growth, which has been very fast over the past 20 years, 40 years uninterrupted dividends, 2 years dividend growth streak. They're almost a dividend aristocrat. And yeah, that was it. And then real quick, I'll pop on back here with what I bought. Dividends I received, by the way, $406 in dividends. Who was your biggest dividend payer? Throw it in the chat. Lockheed Martin, PepsiCo, Ares Capital, and Main Street Capital. Biggest one, Ares, split between two accounts. So again, this is all in the newsletter. Send it out for free, right? If it's for free, it's for me. And what I sold to buy those Nike shares, I really started winding down AT&T. I think I got 100 shares left. 1901. I sold 50 shares of it. Then we bought 3 shares of Agree Realty, 1 more share of J&J, 14 shares of Nike, 1 share of Visa at $268.25, which, of course, I buy it on, I think, Thursday, and the next day on Friday, it's like $261 or $262. So it's in the Roth. It's a little hard, if I put money in every week, so I will be buying more of that. And that's that. So that's that. Let me get caught up in the in your guys' comments and girls, because I see you there, Lisa. Which, by the way, you had 2 live streams today, right? I kept seeing you pop up there. All right, so Darth, let me get, because I'm gonna have to do this while I'm talking. So let's let me do this. Try and shoot this over to Mr. Darth Dividend while I am still talking with you people. It's not that easy. I'm telling you, it's not too easy doing 35 things. Oh, buddy, he wants me to send it on X. Okay, so let me one more second, Darth. Let me get to Shannon, who's drinking a Diet Coke. Oh, where did you go on that Royal Caribbean? And does anybody invest in Royal Caribbean cruise lines? You didn't know Starbucks on cruise ships, Shannon. Have you ever? I mean, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Starbucks inside of a Starbucks bathroom. It's just the way it is. They are ubiquitous, meaning they are just seemingly everywhere all at once. We never got to the Dutch Bros in Dayton. Dayton, I think it was called, in the Orlando suburbs. My brother-in-law is a big coffee drinker, but every day we were driving by a Dutch Brothers. He had never even heard of them. So shout out if you guys like them. Yeah, and we'll get to this too. I want to get to this with Darth. Yeah, Uber woke. I don't know. It just, is it though? So I understand the sentiment about being made by slaves and people seeing that they're low paid. But the thing is most of these businesses, when they go into these very, very poor and largely agrarian societies, and they want to open up an air-conditioned shoe factory, people line up around the block. People are literally willing to kill to get that job to make shoes. And it eventually starts bringing their economy up as more businesses go. And it's just, you know what? I don't know. Does the whole woke thing bother any of you? Because, right, Target was woke, right? Disney's woke. There's still businesses that are functional, and it could be Tractor Supply, right? Started pushing back against this whole thing. So, oh, dude. All right. Well, I'm gonna get to you. I had one of those in Florida. I held the Kona Big Wave. Very nice. So I'm gonna get to you on Darth as I'm. Yeah. So if anybody is anti-woke, I don't know. What does that even mean? What does woke mean to you? Does it mean pandering to a minority of a consumer base? Because I don't know. It just doesn't really bother me all that much. So, yes. Again, Nike. Are you guys buying Nike? And I'm looking for Mr. Darth. Oh my God, there he is. All right, hold on, everybody. So, yeah, that was the big one. There you go. I think you got it now. Coming at you, Mr. Kona Big Wave. And I'll wait for him to pop in. Oh, Janice won't buy any Nike products. Do they really though? Yeah, they actually just gave Caitlin Clark a whole bunch of money. What was it? I don't remember the. Let's see if I can bring this up. Let's see. The Nike deal with Caitlin Clark was. They're gonna have a signature shoe. $28 million she was paid, and it includes a signature shoe. So there you go with that. That's a lot of money. Under Armour reportedly offered her $16 million over 4 years, and Adidas yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry, riveting watching this, right? But anyway, so Caitlin Clark gonna get 28 million and her own signature a shoe. So I don't know. I think that's going to be good, right? That's an area that I listened to the earnings call that they want to push into. They're hoping, they're hoping. What's hoping? They're hoping that this will open the floodgates to the WNBA and to get more shoes and more things there. Yeah, with the sweatshops, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, I got to do this. Hold on. I'm not going to be able to hear Darth, so I got to pop in my pop. And All right, there he is. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Can
And
you
of
guys hear
course, let's
me?
see. Hold on. Oh, now I got you. Now we got you. We got you, man. What's
Sound
up?
good? Sound good?
Yeah, yeah. I hear
All
you
right.
loud and
Hey,
clear.
thanks for having me on. Yeah, so
Speak.
speaking of this
Yes.
woke stuff, that's good for us dividend investors. So and anytime these companies get involved in politics, I mean, you see Starbucks opening their mouth with the stuff with Hamas and Palestine. People are protesting and not wanting to go in Starbucks. The price per share is down. I've been capitalizing on that as well.
Yeah, I forgot about Star. So that's what, right, dude? So Target, Starbucks, Disney, I guess Nike, all the woke, and I
McDonald's.
don't know, McDonald's. I don't think it'll kill the business. Yeah, I think people obviously people don't like it, but it's. I mean, but what does that mean? I don't know if anyone actually gave their definition of woke, because I don't know, man. Like it just it. I don't know why. Maybe I don't know why. It just doesn't bother me. But yeah, folks not buying $200 sneakers. I haven't bought a pair of Nikes in a while. I buy Converse, which is owned by Nike. They bought that in 2003 for I think $315 million was what I read. So that looked good, but yeah, they actually have less than sub $100 shoes coming out. They have a whole slew of innovative designs and things coming out to so they know they're going to put their whole, like the eye of Sauron at Nike is going to focus its eye on innovation. And dude, good things happen when Nike just puts its whole weight behind innovating and moving forward. So did you buy any Nike lately with this dip?
Yes, my dividends and passive income has been buying some Nike. So I'm starting a dollar cost average soon, throwing in 500 a month. I'm sorry, 500 a week into my dividend portfolio again. So I got the student loan debt out of the way. So um, I'm excited to start buying a lot of the dividend growth stocks. A few more added. So M1 Finance allowed more than 100 holdings. So kind of excited.
It's the old Darth Dividend ETF you got cooking over there, man. I
Yeah.
love it. That's cool. So essentially, that's what M1, for those of you that don't know, and I've never been on the platform, but from what I understand, I think you can essentially put in 100 holdings, and then if you put, what can you put, like $50, and it'll disperse it to by fractions of each of those shares or something?
Yeah, and now M1 Finance is having something where you can individually reinvest dividends in the holdings. So say like if I bought shares of Nike, I have 100 plus shares, I can reinvest Nike's dividend into Nike. I'm pretty sure that's how that works now. And they also have a dividend tracker, which is nice. There's a few more adjustments that they made, and you can kind of make a decision where you want to distribute your dividends. So it's a very unique way to do it. So I'm pumped up for that.
So I love it. The Darth Dividend ETF. Like it's nice. It's a nice little idea. I don't know. I'll think about it someday. I'll think about it. But what I haven't thought about or even seen, I didn't even know Costco had Kirkland brand sneakers. Did you?
No,
I
you know
if
what?
that's true.
I've never been in a Costco. Everybody's gonna
All right.
like.
Well, it's good talking to you, Darth. Well, thanks for stopping on by.
I may buy
Never.
Costco, but I've never been in
Yeah.
them yet.
Any reason why? I know that there's one by you because there's one by almost everybody, unless you live in, I don't know, Montana, somewhere in the
Uh,
outskirts of Bozeman, but just
I,
not
I
into them,
think
huh?
location it might be. It's just more convenient for me to just go to my local grocery store.
You probably also don't need, 500 rolls of toilet paper all in one shot like we do, you know.
No, but
Get
I do
kids,
like
man.
hot dogs. I mean, just go there for the hot dogs. You never know.
Is there an IKEA by you?
No.
No, IKEA has their kind of rival, and they have a hot dog deal too. But yeah, John, I don't know if he says it might be made by Nike by that for them. Uh, Shamir poking a little fun at the TSN CFO, missed the grandson of John. I don't know what Tyson, Elder Tyson. Yeah, that guy's a mess. Feppy, Michael is. I guess is that the price that Feppy's at? Have you been buying Feppy?
I think maybe he's talking about 62 shares of Pepe.
Oh, there you
Yes,
go.
I do have FEPI and it's been doing well buying my dividend growth stocks. So that's kind of what I use those ETFs for. I know it's a very aggressive and risky strategy, but it's doing well for now. But if the market goes bad, I'm screwed. So that's just the best way of saying it.
But if you know the risk, man, that's great. You know what you're not buying it blind, which is, dude, that's really
Yeah.
half the battle, I think. Janice will be getting over $500 between SCHD and JEPQ. Janice, that
Wow.
is
Good for
awesome. Don't
you.
spend, don't spend it on any Nikes. What is your shoe of choice, Janice? Pray tell. We'll get to your answer in about 45 minutes at the rate I go. But yeah, Fast Eddie. I own just PepsiCo outright, and I have exposure to Coca-Cola and things like SCHD and various other funds. Oh, there you are. I was like, hey, Dart sold Royal Caribbean for a profit. See how far behind I am? That's what happens here. Oh, it's DoorDash. I've been hearing more people doing DoorDash. That's very interesting. They DoorDash Starbucks. Oh my God. What would that cost for a cup of coffee if they DoorDash Starbucks?
I don't even ask them. They get the Chocamoca Kaboka, and it's probably, a lot of money. But the Starbucks, they're in hospitals too, and big hospitals like at Cleveland Clinic in downtown. They're busy all the time. I mean, it's crazy how busy they are in
Hey,
the
that's
hospitals.
that's yeah. Well, I love it. I encourage people to DoorDash Starbucks, just not myself or anybody in my family. Yeah, Chris, I agree, man. I mean, I don't have any hard numbers on that, but it's I don't know if it'll ever go away, but when you have people, and I do know this, when there's people in countries that are spending all day, 7 days a week, out in a field in the hot sun, they're literally falling over each other to try and get these, slave labor jobs. And is it right? Not, nothing's black and white. That to me is straw man thinking when you're just like, no, it's either black or white. But I would agree with that, Chris. I would agree with that. What's the word that Rush just used? It's kind of funny. There's a Mexican dude that's at one of the businesses we work in. He can't call me Russ. It's always Rush. So that makes me laugh. Fast Eddie. But I don't know if the happening. I sometimes my brain. This happens to you. I'm getting older. My brain melds words together. So we're still up on your stuff. I look at it. Chris says 97 of Nike, definitely averaging down. Yeah, and that's another thing, man, right? When some of these stocks are priced to perfection, like Nike, I remember when it was at 115, 120, I was like, oh, hell no, there ain't no way I'm touching it here. There's just, right? I'm like, it's too
Yeah.
high and everything has to go perfect, which kind of is my worry with Costco, that it's literally priced to perfection and it has to keep jumping over these really high bars. And as soon as it doesn't, I think a couple quarters is you're going to see it get beaten down.
So a few things with Nike too. And what happens if they start having robots making the shoes and stuff? So that takes out the labor, and these factories or machines can be 24/7. So the production could be a lot more faster too. I'm sure they're thinking about that. They'd be crazy not to think about robots making the shoes.
No, well, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming, man. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, 28 million for a sport no one watches. Yeah, I agree, Chris, but they're trying to grow it, and I think it's so silly. I don't watch basketball, but I do see and read the news, and I see that Caitlin Clark being attacked by everybody. It's just stupid and short sighted because she can be a real big catalyst for the growth of the WNBA, and you get more advertisers, more eyeballs, more butts in the seats. Duh, there's going to be more money for everybody. So, yeah, I think they're trying to change that. And I think Nike is trying to, again, one of their forward thinking ideas maybe is that they're going to really try and get, right? Because they started a pro volleyball league. The first year was this year. And before that, I remember talking with my daughter a few years ago that it was kind of like high school ball. Then if you play college volleyball, where do you go after that? The Olympics? There's only a handful of girls that make that, but then
Right.
it's just coaching, like either coaching at a college or a high school or whatever, rec league. So now there's a pro volleyball league, so that's kind of I think
Well,
it's good.
the other thing with Nike too is, I mean, you look at the Big Ten conference in college football. Oregon is now joining the Big Ten. So that's going to be huge for sales and merchandise with the Big Ten for sports. So Nike's going to be making a buttload of money with that. I'm pretty sure they're the ones with the Big Ten as well.
Yeah, it's there's money that they're not spending 20. Well, I hope they're not spending 28 million because they don't expect some kind of return. But yeah, Topeka, that's kind of cool, and I like that. You should spend money and support businesses that you feel good about. And it's kind of one of the reasons I don't know I don't recognize your name, but why we moved away from Altria, just our personal decision and choice. And I haven't noticed what they've been doing lately. So, but yeah, it's a personal decision, and right, that's why it's personal finance and investing. And hey, you got to do what lets you sleep well at night.
But I
I
can
don't.
tell you,
Yeah.
seeing a lot of the patients in the hospital that are baby boomers are coming in with a lot of lung cancer and metastasis and stuff. So it is catching up with that generation, the smoking and stuff. So that is the risk with Altria. I think their biggest hope is if the Mary Jane, because we can't say what the word is, but if the Mary Jane is, integrated, I think they have a serious potential.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing with Altria that worries me is that, right, they say that they're moving beyond smoking. If you go on Altria's website right now, it's front and center, moving beyond smoking. They're trying to get people away from the combustibles. But smoking, I think, was, when I did the last look, it was 85 or 90%, somewhere way up there of their revenue from smokable tobacco, which
Hmm.
is. Dude, that's a big thing. When that's 90, I'll go conservative and say 85% of their revenue. When you're shifting away from that, that to me is like a huge, huge risk. And I think that's why they've been struggling. But yeah, when I don't know why we can't say the M word. We got to say Mary Jane. I didn't know that. Is the
I just do just to be careful because sometimes the monetization, I'm like limited sometimes when I say the C word or, the M word. So I just say Mary Jane.
I'll call it cannabawana. So when the people are using the cannabawana, yeah, honestly, I don't know if that once that goes legal, if they can really come in and because right, it's a weed. It's a freaking weed. It's like it's not some cultivating tobacco plant, right? So I don't know. I don't smoke it. I've tried. I've dabbled. It just didn't agree with me. And
It's not my thing.
but it's a weed. It's a weed. It seems to me like it can be. It's pretty easy to grow. Yeah, I know that there's strains and you fancy schmancy all that stuff, which you cannabawana, but da, da. So Starbucks didn't say anything about the Middle East stuff. It was the unions that did. Oh, that's a good point. Thank you
Oh,
for the clarification on that, Shamir. Yeah, I didn't follow it too closely, so I'm like, whatever. Didn't we used to have a background? I just looked at our thing here. Let me see. I know it's like, uh, oh, I can't. I don't know if I can put this on. Hopefully, else don't mess it up. Oh, I got to upgrade to do that. I guess not. I thought there used to be a background. Oh well. Anyway, so back to the comments. I think I used to be able to put music on. We experimented with that once, everybody, and not too many people dug it. But let's see what else you guys got going on here. What you want to talk about? Put it in the chat. What do you want us to get on up on? Yeah, I don't see our names. What's going on with this StreamYard? Oh, maybe it is. No, I don't see our names. I don't know why. Maybe I did something. Anyway, 148 shares of Nike for Bill.
That's
Shamir,
really good.
heck yeah, man. Do you sell covered calls on that? Just curious, the cheapest. Oh, that's another one. Topeka, Bud Light. Yeah. Anheuser-Busch, right? People were all upset at them. Marketing dollars are wasted. That's silly. But they're so diversified. It's funny. I've run into people that are like, oh, never any more Bud. And then they're drinking Natural Light or something, which is a Bud product. It's like people don't understand. They don't think to look deeper than what they know.
That was a high school beer for us in early college. Was natural light beer
Well,
or Bud
I
Ice.
still I still drink it because it's cheap
Ugh.
and I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I don't know. Maybe my taste buds are broken. Yeah. I don't see Janice. Yeah, what has Nike innovated except slick advertising? Well, they got the Pegasus One shoe. They got, I'm not a big sneakerhead. I'm not really big in all that, but they do have Romero One, I think it's called. Things like that are coming out.
Jordan.
And yeah, I mean the Air. I mean honestly, I don't know if you're talking the whole history of Nike, Mr. WTF. Because if you are, then I would say WTF. Have you been thinking about? Because I don't know the whole Air and I don't know that was pretty big. Everybody, at least I
Still
remember
is.
when Air came out. Yeah, it was, dude. Everybody wanted Air. I don't know what Fake Girl is. Not gonna. Okay, they're talking about the swimming stuff. There you go, Shamir and Darth. You guys don't enjoy going to Costco. Find it overwhelming. Yeah, I could understand that. It's funny, Shamir, because my wife says the same thing that the hot dogs are just, and I'm like, yeah, but it's $1.50. That's what you're. Look at that. I love you people. Speak your minds. That's the majority of you right now. Find Costco overwhelming. I don't know. Here we go. Everybody piling on the Costco hot dogs. All right, I'm going to get caught up here because I love more comments. So, what have you been up to, man? What have you been? What was the interest on your college student loan debt? Can you share that? Are you comfortable?
It was like for these private ones, I think one of them was like 6%, 7%. And I just was like, hey, I'm travel nursing. I need to get this out of the way. I don't want to do a 10-month or 10-year payment and stuff and all this stuff. I'm just getting it out of the way. I feel like I'm Thanos when he gets another power stone, being debt free. That's like one of them.
Heck yeah, man! It's another brick out of the backpack on your
Oh,
back.
it's a headache.
Look at this, Patty. What's up, Pat? Nice for seeing you stop by. I love my language sometimes when I'm listening to your thought. I'm thinking what I want to say next. I'm reading that, and the words just come out like somebody that was educated in a Cook County educational system. But Pat thinks MPW is officially a yield trap.
I have
I
my
don't
fingers
know.
crossed for them. Eventually, I'm hoping they rebound. I'm really pulling for them. But it, honestly, I mean, working in healthcare, the most poorly run businesses are hospitals and everything in healthcare. So, you know, we're losing money and people aren't paying rent. That's just what's happening. So, healthcare reimbursement is terrible. So, it's just adding up and stuff. I know mental health is like in a high demand and stuff, acute care, people are getting sicker and older. In theory it looks great, but they got some things they have to work on. And I think the pandemic is what really exposed them, because if the pandemic didn't happen, this is just me. The pandemic If the pandemic didn't happen, financially they would have been maybe fine because of the demand of skilled rehab and everything, but nobody wanted to go to the rehab facilities. I can tell you the hospitals were empty right when the pandemic started when I was there. And it was weird. I wanted to pick up, help people. I would get called off. And all these patients, they come in with heart attacks and stuff, or they get strokes. They don't want to go to skilled rehab because they're afraid of getting COVID. So that hurt a lot of rehab facilities. And MPW owned a lot of rehab facilities. And I think that didn't help out at all for them.
Well, also that big right Steward, I think was their biggest
Yeah.
tenant, and they've had issues. And yeah, I remember when I looked through MPW, what I didn't like is it did look like some of their, where there's smoke, there's fire, that they were indeed taking ownership stake in their tenants. So funneling money to them and getting ownership position. It just felt like, I don't know, kind of like the landlord kicking the tenant money to show that they have rent coming in. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I could be wrong. That's just my amateur opinion. And I remember looking at it saying like, it just, it's my too hard pile. I can't figure out what's going on. So, but honestly, to your point, Pat, now it might just be a turnaround or a, hey, if they don't go bankrupt, they'll probably be okay. But I don't know if they'll get back to where they once were. But yeah, it's personal opinion, highly speculative is what I would say about that. All right. Oh, that's why I wanted Chris saying, all right. Average cost is 95. Yeah, it's gonna be down for a while. I know some people are saying dead money. On the earnings call, they said they think it's going to be a few quarters of headwinds, which could probably mean a year or two, I would expect. But I don't know. I think they're going to be fine. They're not going to. Fast Eddie doesn't know about any robots that'll be buying and wearing Nikes. Well, they won't need to buy them. You don't pay a robot unless you hold them hostage, withhold electricity from them. Yeah, I don't know. They'll be making them for nobody because nobody will afford them. Well, they would, right? Because if the labor there, that would be, they can move them out faster and they'll be cheaper. But honestly, they don't want to create too many because then that's a supply and demand thing. So you don't want, that's a funny thing. A lot of us don't think often about the supply of things. We always just think about demand. It's like always demand. But if there's demand but too much supply, it's not going to be a good thing for the business. But yeah, thinking about supply is only half of the story. You got to factor in demand too. Just like you were saying with the skilled nursing facilities, that's
yeah.
And what's the demand? All right. Let's see. Oh, here, Gorilla Nurse bought some more. I don't know KLG, Enbridge, and MPW. Averaging down on all of them. Hey, that's. Yeah, so Shamir, you're staying away from. How's your channel going, Shamir? I think you were starting a channel. I still haven't watched, man. Apologies.
The seltzer taste tester, that's what it is.
Ooh, oh, no. Oh no. Well, yeah, we're gonna have to do something with. Who owns White Claw? Are they publicly traded? They got to be owned by.
I don't think so. So MPW,
yeah.
I did consider throwing maybe some play money in them, but reliability is not there. That's the issue.
Yeah, we'll see, man. And for me, it would be highly speculative. I think could pay off nicely though. Reese doesn't think there's much the WNBA can do to get more viewers, dude. I think that they should lower the nets. Honestly, if they can get these girls dunking, we'd see it in volleyball. I was just in Orlando for a girls volleyball tournament, and they lower the nets for girls volleyball. Why not lower the rims for women's basketball? I think they should. I think that would add a different element to the game, make it more physical, and that. Seth, dude, I'm not gonna vote. I'm gonna say it right now. I don't care. Neither. That's my opinion. So, hey, it is what it is for me. You don't have to answer that. Doesn't matter to me. But Shannon gonna what is this? Oh, Nike's with the Big Ten. Go Bucks. I don't think that's a Milwaukee Bucks thing. That's Buckeyes.
Ohio
right?
State Buckeyes.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you
got my tickets ready for that Ohio State Michigan game. I'm ready.
Were you telling me that you guys are sour if the margin of victory is not wide enough?
Some people, yes.
That's
some people are like that, yes. But I'm just like, okay, let's just be a realist. Let's just get prepared for the Oregon game. It's basically, you're not showing much. But there's a lot of fans that like throw a fit if they don't win by like 20. It's like, dude, Penn State has one of the best defenses out there. Like, chill out.
Yeah. Yeah, win's a win. Here we go. John says, what is the best commercial industrial REIT? I think you meant Prologis, buddy, not Prolog. That's another company I never heard of, but yeah, I think he means Prologis. Asking about locations that will warehouse for companies like Amazon or like that. So yeah, come to mind, obviously Prologis, but Realty Income, they have some Amazon facilities, and Rexford Industrial and Stag. Stag Industrial has one of their top tenants is Amazon, I believe. But yeah, look at Rexford, ticker REXR. They're on the West Coast, but they're one that I've had my eye on for a while. I just don't want to get too heavy into REITs.
Oh, I got
But
him.
oh, there you go. Gorilla Nurse is going for the Badgers.
All right. Hey, we need them back. We need them in Nebraska to start waking up. It'd be nice to see them back the way they were.
Ooh, Janice, look out. Nasty. Wait till Caitlin Clark wants to have children. They will cut her at her knees. Maybe. That's why you get the, guaranteed contracts. But I don't know. I think they innovate brands. And, but honestly, like what makes Hoka so different? It's just got the really big spongy shoe on the bottom. I don't know. I mean, it's a shoe. How much crazy are we going to get with innovation? I know Nike had the self-lacing ones like from Back to the Future. It didn't look good to me, but yeah, we'll see, Janice. So we'll put Janice down as undecided about Nike and Caitlin Clark. $9 for a pack of smokes when you. Oh, Craig, what's up, Craig? I can't. It's crazy to me. I saw that too. 8 something for a pack. I was just like, oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, Topeka. It'll be legalized. The cannabijuana. No worries. Sooner, probably after the election, unless it's like a last ditch attempt by the Democrats. I don't know, but it will be. It will be. Shamir recently tried Chick-fil-A. Oh yeah, by the way, Bush. I didn't even look if Anheuser-Busch. I assume they own Busch Gardens, where we were just at. That would make sense. I asked Shannon where he went on that Royal Caribbean cruise. He went to Grand Cayman and Cozumel. I think they're gonna get destroyed by a hurricane now, right? I heard there's a hurricane down there in the I don't know what they call it. The Caribbean. I was going to say the Cayman Islands, maybe. Bill is not selling covered calls on that Nike. That's could be a good thing. Covered calls, it really limits your upside. I don't know. I go through cycles where I like it and then I don't, but it's bothering me. I don't know why our names are not on there. That is bizarre. I'm not going to fool around with it now because I'll probably end the stream, but Pat, at his age, he doesn't have time for an MPW turnaround. Yeah, but I laugh, but that's perfectly acceptable answer, Pat, because you have to factor in time horizon into so many of your decisions, and it's an exact reason why some older people might not want to invest in Nike. It might be dead money for a few years, but I think if you have a lot of years. Oh, there you go. Janice is a mom dasher. How does it pay? Does it pay well? My brother out in Wyoming was doing DoorDash. But is the dividend safety of Enbridge something you ever worry about? I think that was at Pat, but I don't know. Do you own Enbridge?
No. I did, but I'm like, I'm gonna just throw some money in some dividend growth stocks. Maybe eventually I'll rebuy them, but with that Canadian tax, I'm like,
Yeah, let me see here. Let's see what it is.
I got Energy Transfer. I mean, I got One Oak, OKE.
Yeah.
I have Energy Transfer, Kinder Morgan. Excuse me. And no, I mean, I don't know. It's just there's a little bit of a tax on that, and I'm like, you get money taken out, and I don't know. I mean, I may rebuy it, but right now I'm really focused on dividend growth stocks. right
I
now.
think that's the place to be when we got a lot of time. Yeah, I'll check Enbridge, but I didn't do the news. I'm told you I'm scrambled, man. So real quick here, we got an outlook refresh on Cisco. I don't know some of these CLOs or CEO closed end funds, right? CEFs. This I think is one, the Nuveen AMT Free Quality Municipal Income Fund. It's out of my wheelhouse. That was downgraded. If you got it, check out another one here too from John Hancock. It was upgraded. It's a closed-end fund. The John Hancock Premium Dividend Fund. That's interesting. I don't know much about that one, but that could be something to look at. But it's a closed-end fund. I need Jeremy from Dividend Stockpile here to talk about the CEFs, which I think this is another similar one, downgraded, a very unsafe core bond fund. They refreshed an outlook on General Mills, and and General Mills raised their dividend token increase 1.7%. Anybody worried about that when you see a penny raise after they had been given some more generous ones? That's
No,
interesting.
they'll be good.
And then there you go. That's the one you like. The Kroger 10%
Yes.
dividend increase. And then let's get to, gosh darn it, what did I do here?
I mean, Enbridge is good. They're a good company. I just decided to look at a few things and go from there. I don't know. I mean, it's
we got a dividend
still
safety
nice.
score of 70, 7.53. Let's see what Shamir's talking about. Asking Pat here. So let me shrink this a little bit. Dividend growth is respectable. 11% 20-year CAGR, but it's slowed down lately. 28 years of dividend growth, so 71 years uninterrupted dividends. I don't know if I've ever looked at this. Oh, it's Canadian, I see.
That's the only thing that I'm like.
Okay, so then you're going to get hit with probably a withholding tax. But yeah, the yield is historically about 7%, so it's a little bit above average.
It's a beast. No, it's a good company.
Here, the distributable cash flow. This is kind of like what you want to look for as free cash flow for other businesses. I like to look at, or AFFO for REITs. But yeah, they show 64%, so it's looks okay. I don't know. I don't see any problems, but I've never really looked into it. There's nothing that I'm just scrolling through here really quick that, they slight share dilution. They've really slowed that down lately, but I don't know.
I'm sure they'll adapt. Yeah, and I'm sure they'll adapt.
Terrible. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look too bad, honestly. Well, there you go. I think we both agree it looks okay, but look into that Canadian withholding tax, which I also think if you hold it in a tax
IRA.
advantaged account, don't. I don't believe you have to pay that. Yeah. Gorilla Nurse. I love the name Gorilla Nurse. Are you indeed a nurse like Darth Dividend is here? MPW is a bit risky, but they still have one of the largest portfolios.
Well, I tell you what, I'm taking my grand old time studying for NP boards. I graduated in August, but the travel nursing is too nice. I mean, I think my contract may go away in December. So now it's like, gut check time. Got to buckle up the chin strap, start studying for boards.
Get on it, man. Get on that. You know what they say about the, who is it, Seneca? That said the fools all have one thing in common. They all wait for tomorrow. So, not saying you're a fool, buddy. Just, that's Seneca. Take it up with him, man. Don't kill the messenger. How does Warren or Charlie feel about ethics and investing? Pretty passionate. They won't invest into a business they don't like. There was a tobacco business that they could have invested in and made a killing back in the day. They both turned it down. They didn't want to. It was outright, but they still owned Walmart, which sold tobacco. They still bought, the name escapes me. Distributor. It's a distributor company. They restock convenience stores. Somebody can probably remember that. It's one of their businesses they bought outright. So, oh my God, I'm almost caught up. I'm terrible, you guys, with this. I'm terrible. People aren't getting younger or healthier. The need for hospitals will always be there. It will. And yeah, it's a crazy thing though. What what do you think about the whole hospitals gouging patients and charging a lot? I mean, do you think it's just going to always keep going up and up and up and not be even?
Yes, and it might have to do with, I want to get political, but there's a certain thing that came in, and I think if that guy loses, I think there might be a possibility that insurance rates can go down and they can fix that. But I just think, the demand's high, people are getting sicker, obesity is an epidemic, and the strong correlation with diabetes, dementia, heart attacks, strokes. I mean, a lot of stuff. Feet infections, amputations. I mean, diabetes and obesity is just, you're not used to seeing normally fit people now when you're out.
Well, it
It's
has been. I heard that America, from a study, America's diet went from an F to a D. So we've gotten a little bit better. It was I don't remember who did that study. I came across it in some of the things I read. But yeah, well, Janice, Chris says is obviously biased against Nike based on her comments. Hey, we welcome people that are biased here. It's no problem. We can even talk about feet infections and amputations here. I don't care what comes up on the Dapper Dividends YouTube channel show. Just maybe if you're eating, sorry, apologize for that. But yeah, Shamir, it's a federal issue. Our attorney general was a joke. I don't remember what that was about, but I'm going to. Oh yeah, that's right, because Janice is right up from me in Wisconsin, closing left and right. Really, man, we'll see. I wish healthcare was more affordable, but I don't know what the answer is, and it always drives me crazy that everybody wants like a black or white, quick and easy answer, and it's just going to be a messy shade of gray, I think. But I don't know, man. I don't know what you do to fix a system, but I do agree. We see when we get insurance co-pays and then we see the bill, I'm like, oh my God, if we didn't have insurance, I don't know how you would afford some of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's wild. Absolutely wild. But oh nice. Pat gets $513 a quarter from Enbridge. So do you have
Wow.
that, Pat, in a retirement account? Do you do you pay the Canadian withholding tax? Let us know in the comments below. Enbridge just bought a huge chunk of pipelines running through the USA. Oh, interesting. That could cut into EPD, Enterprise Products Partners Field. And who was that Canadian company? They were a monthly payer, and then they went to quarterly. They were on the predominantly the west coast of Canada. Pembina Pipeline.
Yes.
That's who it was. Yeah, that's another Canadian one that I looked at a while ago. What I think about Nvidia and Cisco teaming up for AI, man, out of my circle of competence. Yeah, obviously, right. It's money. Maybe trying to create a little more barrier to entry, and I don't know. I think Nvidia's nuts. I mean, we're late now. We won't get into that too much, but oh yeah, look at Janice too. Janice is I forgot she works in a hospital too. 400 babies a year now. What is the number one shoe that hospital workers wear? What do you guys think, Darth?
I wear
Janice?
Asics. I actually don't wear Nike. I wear Asics.
Ooh, my daughter has Asics volleyball shoes. This is riveting topic, everybody. All right, everybody. Now we're going to talk about the footwear most commonly found on the feet of hospital workers. Hey, it's still an industry. You want to talk about a subsect? There you go. And Gorilla Nurse. Man, what is this? All of a sudden, I'm just thinking. Our ER has doubled in volume the past year. There you go. You guys can all hop on and talk. You can all talk. Oh, there he is, Pat. He get yes on the tax, but you get a USA tax credit for the tax you paid. All right. Yeah, that sucks, Janice, if your hospital is about to go bankrupt. No raises for you, and retirement match taken away. Ouch. I don't know what the answer is there. I don't know.
It's a mess everywhere.
God
financially.
bless you people, though. You people, I love it. You people, yeah, you in the hospital industry. I mean,
Oh, we're slammed. I mean, the place where I'm travel nursing at is, just give you a hint, it's very close to the Hall of Fame in Canton. And they got bought off by a huge hospital system in Northeast Ohio. Man, we get patients from counties away that are direct admits from the ER. I mean, it's just busy. I mean, beds are flowing back and forth. We just can't even keep up with stuff.
well, there you go. I don't, yeah, and I don't know what the answer is. If hospitals keep going bankrupt, I mean, the demand is still going to be there, right? So there we go.
It's
Talk about
high.
supply and demand. So, yeah, Gorilla Nurse is an ER, I'm guessing ER department nurse for 8 years. Shamir throwing shade at you, saying yield max not enough for you to retire on yet.
I'm
So
using Yield Max to buy Nike. There you go.
there you go. Hey, if it works for you, that's all that matters. Do you think
Yeah.
Walgreens is a dead man walking company? Tony, it's hard to say, but they're probably going to get acquired by somebody. I could see like I don't know if CVS would do it, but it's really dark days for Walgreens right now. I'll say that, and I would not. I don't know. I wouldn't. HEB is a monopoly. That's because there was a comment about Kroger getting killed in Texas by Fast Eddie. He's not by Fast Eddie killing Kroger. We don't want him to do that, but he said he thinks HEB is killing. What is HEB? It's a grocery store, obviously, but I'm trying to think. I think in Washington D.C. I went. No, that was Harris Teeter. We went to. I don't know. Oh, here, Gorilla Nurse wears the old dad New Balance shoes. All these fancy shoes for these whippersnappers. Nice. Pat's wife was an ER nurse for 45 years. Oh my goodness. We're just retired because of all the crap. Dude, shout out to your wife. I will bet that Pat's wife has some insane stories to tell from being an ER nurse for 45 years.
Yeah,
I
I used to
cannot.
float to the ER too, and one of my that one hospital that I worked at, it's my first job is a hospital job. I would float to the ER. I would float to the ICU, and I was mostly on a med surg tele unit. They closed, and the other hospital that was the regional hospital, that one closed too. That was a surprise. It was a very good psych hospital. They had a really good psych residency. I really think, and they'll never say this, of course, it'll look really bad, but the people that came in the hospital were not, they didn't have insurance. So that's the problem with these hospitals is people come in, they don't have insurance. And then these hospitals end up closing because this is just my honest opinion. I think they don't want to take the hit and they close.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it they won't say it publicly, but from what I've heard from hospital administrators walking by at that old hospital that I was at, and they said we can't afford people that don't have insurance. And you heard them behind closed doors walking by. Well, I was like, oh, I need to get out of here. And they ended up closing.
God, yeah, and that's what we do. We have to, in this country, we don't turn away people, right? I mean, it's all right. They're gonna take care of you. Matt, yeah, most employees are a number. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Unless you are your own boss, then you're expendable. Just about everybody's expendable everywhere, and it's just the way it is. So HEB, they're all saying, is derived from Henry E. Butt's company. Okay, it sounds like something you'd hear on The Simpsons. What's up, Rob? It has been a minute since we've talked. Yeah, Pat says his wife has many stories, needs to write a book. Totomi, what's up, man? Nice to see you. You're usually on Kevin's stream on Mondays. I see you. I see you in there. He's not the only one who bought or started a position in Nike. Nice. Started his new position with 138 shares. Average cost 7. Nice that you got that laying around. Or did you consolidate? We'd love to know. Yeah, Janice has been a certified nurse midwife for 24 years. Nice to see you, DGI Crab. Nike dropped more in one day than they have in 23 years. Yeah, it was close. I think in 2001 they had something that went on with stocking issue, and they dropped 19.5% in one day. But this was just eclipsed. I think it's going to be fine long term. And honestly, I swear to God, I honestly hope it drops into the 60s. I really do, because I'll probably just completely exit AT&T and just put it all into Nike there. So Howard E. Butsy said, yeah, well, Shannon, we can't all be perfect. But anyway, I think that's, of course, that's a good place to probably wrap it up, man. So what do you got going on your channel? Anything moving and shaking?
I'm going to be a little bit more active. I'll be collaborating with more and more people. I'm starting to focus on boards too. So mostly gym, YouTube channel, working out, and studying. And I'm starting to do my cutting mode. So I'm going to enjoy this. I'll probably have one on the 4th, hanging out with family after my shift, which is nice time and a half. But I really need to start focusing on business.
Me too. I'm going to start cutting. I put on almost 10 freaking pounds on my vacation. So I'm up to about 194 pounds right now. So it's crazy.
You'll burn it off.
Oh, like nothing, dude. Once I got the swing of things, but yeah, it's just funny. My brother-in-law and I were both, because he put on like 12 pounds, and yesterday we were both like, oh, I feel like such a piece of crap, Anyway, so by the way, to tell me, I wanted to get back to that, and then we're gonna pop on out. But he, where did he go? Oh, there it is. He sold Whirlpool with an 8% gain to buy Nike. So that's awesome. Redeploying money into something that probably has a little bit better dividend growth and just a much better total return profile, I think. So
that's what I did with Walgreens. I sold Walgreens and threw it in Kroger. I mean, Kroger has a pharmacy too. So, yeah. I mean, there's so much competition. I started seeing that as a nurse, because it's like, okay, there's so many pharmacies out there. And then all of a sudden your patients say, yeah, I want my medication reconciliation to be sent to Kroger. I'm like, Kroger has a pharmacy? So I started looking more into it. And I'm like, all right, I'm in. I'm going in Kroger. They got a pharmacy. Yeah. I mean, they're making money. They're busy. I mean, they're a big company. So I said, I'm going in.
Well, and on this, Rite Aid is filing for bankruptcy. They're going to go away. They had like 2.2% market share of the U.S. pharmacy. One was CVS, 2 was Walgreens, but Walgreens was, not that close to CVS. If anybody, you want to Google it, you can go to Statista. They have a wonderful chart from 2023 revenue of market share of that. So anyway, man, thank you for stopping on by. Yep. And for everybody else, hey, Pee-wee takes us out. I'm a kid of the 80s. I love it. And I love all of you. And we will see you for another weekend dividend communion on next weekend. So be good, everybody. And I'll talk to you soon.